Just sort of switching tack slightly, what's in terms of staffing on the estate, what's the makeup of staff within the arable side of the business, and how do you see that changing in the next few years with the different pressures on the business?
So I'm farm manager and the agronomist, so I do all the agronomy. Or I have 2 full-time tractor drivers. They've been here for the best part of 15-20 years. They're very responsible guys. One does all the cultivations and fertiliser spreading. The other one does Gordon does the spraying and the combining. So they can do both. They can do everything. So if one of them's ill, they can swap over. And added to that, we have a Harper Adams placement student. So we have one through the winter, then 2 in the summer when they cross over. So our staffing in the summer months would be 5, and then in the winter we would drop down to 4. Okay. So in the future, I like giving the chance to the placement students to come to the estate and have training, and get trained up. I think that's really good. I do more agronomy outside of the estate, so I could see myself being spread over more acres to help cover my cost. But yeah, I've got 2 responsible guys. So we're, like I said, 2,300 acres. So I think we're about right on the staffing side. We've got quite a lot of diversification, so we've got the facility on the estate to sort of spread the labour costs over different enterprises. So, yeah. But we're always conscious about obviously cost and going forward losing the BPS. So, yeah, we need to keep our cost lower if we can, going forward.
Well, thinking of lowering costs, machinery obviously is becoming a major issue on farm.
Cost.
What is your machinery policy? What are the key sort of moving bits of kit on the farm, and how do you think that policy will change maybe over the next 5 years or so?
So we haven't got many prime movers. We've got two tractors that we swap every year for a buying scheme that we're involved in. That keeps our depreciation quite low on those 2 tractors. So it's similar to actually hiring them. We've got a fairly aged class Challenger that we use for our chaser bin and light cultivations, and then we work in conjunction with one of our neighbours, and we hire his big quad track, and we share a drill and cultivation equipment with him. So I can see that stopping the same, but probably increasing maybe some of the neighbours or area that would cover. But we certainly know our depreciation and know our costs, but trying to keep up with the cost of machinery going forward is going to be quite difficult. Yeah.
And you recently changed out your self-propelled sprayer for a second-hand machine. Yes. Good quality second-hand machine, but second-hand machine. Do you see yourself potentially taking more use of the sort of second-hand market to fill those?
I think that certainly saved us 80,000 off a new Bateman. It was a couple of years old, and it had all the technology that we wanted. It's a bit of a one-off, but we were lucky. But yeah, I can see if we, it's just finding the certainly with a spray, it's finding out what it's done in the past and how it's been looked after. But yeah, certainly utilising good second-hand machinery if you can find it is a way, obviously, reducing your costs going forward. Yeah.
In terms of grain storage, obviously you mentioned you've got a 60,000 tonne commercial grain store here. Is there plans to expand that still? Do you think there's an opportunity to take advantage of that?
I think we've got up to capacity where we wouldn't want to expand it anymore. In fact, we probably want to look for alternatives for 1 or 2 of the stores. The 60,000 tonne is quite a lot of grain to find in the surrounding area. Yeah. I think there's scope for diversification within the buildings themselves, because they're all flat floor stores with a continuous flow dryer. So We don't have any bin storage, only wet storage. But yeah, I think we're very lucky on the estate that we've got that facility that we can bring the grain in. The farm is certainly, and it's all dealt with by the grain marketing department or grain operating departments of the estate. So yeah, we're lucky from that point of view.
Now, you mentioned BPS going. What other ways, I suppose I'm thinking in terms of environmental schemes now, is the estate, what sort of route is the estate going down with environmental schemes? What's the thoughts for the future there and potentially harnessing available money in that sector?
So we've been in an HLS and ELS scheme since 2009. That obviously ended in 2019 as a 10-year scheme. We had 2 extensions to that. So we then viewed after the 2nd year extension, we would come out of HLS and ELS and go into concise stewardship. Just because we wanted to rejig things a bit. So that's a mid-tier scheme that will last for 5 years, and yeah, we needed to do that to access that money and to improve environmentally the things that we've already protected with the HLS and ELS scheme that we've already got. We've got quite a lot of registered parkland on the estate, so we've actually at the moment we're going into a higher tier scheme as well on the estate, which is just focusing on the parkland and some of the more important grassland fields. So we very much want to protect the grassland that we got on the estate with the higher tier, but with the mid tier we're utilising that for the arable side. But we really wanted to access that money, so it helped with the reduction of the BPS that we weren't. When we're looking at cash flow, we're trying to supplement the income that we would have foregone with the BPS. And then moving on from that is, land that isn't in the countryside stewardship, we will go into the SFI, Sustainable Farming Incentive, which I think is going to open in July. So we want to access that. We probably will do that on just a simplified £22 a hectare scheme to start off with and see how we go.
Yeah, sure. Fantastic.